like notes through the hourglass. These Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Songs of Our Lives. I'm Brad Rose. I'm an artist, a composer, a writer, the founder of Foxy Digitalis, and someone who thinks about music and sound far more than is healthy. Each week I invite on a guest to talk about the songs, the music that has meant a lot to them and left its mark. Previous guests include Randall Dunn, Charmaine Lee, Dorian Wood, Kalia Vandiver, and so many more. So many more. This week I am so excited to have Dania on the show. She has a new album called Listless that is out recently, I think sometime last month. Can't remember the exact date, but it's out now in Somewhere Press. It is I've been a big fan of her work, but she runs the Paralaxe Editions label, which is amazing label. It's done so many cool things. And this album, it definitely feels very connected to her other work, but it also, I think there's a lot of framing in the album, like Write Up and stuff, talking about it's like the closest thing she'll make to a pop album. And I think that's true, but it's such a unique sort of take on that. And there's just a lot more, and we talked about it in the intro, so I'm not going to repeat it. It's an awesome record. I can't recommend it enough. And check out Paralaxe Editions because there's so much cool stuff on that label. And yeah, Dania's just doing she's doing all sorts of cool stuff, like, installations and workshops and giving talks and just, I don't know, she's a badass. And this episode was way too much fun. And as you'll see, a recurring theme, just to start here, I got to give a shout out to Tiesto, right? Okay. Anyway, this was fun. Go check out Listless. Hope you enjoyed. My guest today is a transnational artist, a musician, an emergency doctor, a curator. I'm sure there's more, but it's Dania. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm some of those things, I think.
Hey, who knows? Who knows what any of us are anymore?
I know.
In the year 2025, we're all just hanging on. Yeah. So, hey, you got an exciting news. You have a new record, Listless, that is out now on Somewhere Press. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
And I guess to kind of start and sort of, I don't know, and get into the sort of context of the record. I'm curious about like this whole like working the night shift in remote Australia. That thing I can't stop thinking about, which was mentioned in the liner notes. What does that like look like and sound like? And like, I don't know. I have all these pictures in my head and sounds in my head, and I'm curious what it's actually like.
So I've been a doctor for a while, and I work. I'm an emergency doctor, so I work a lot of shift work, and a lot of the shifts I do are at night. And night shift's very interesting because often you are one of two doctors in charge of a whole hospital, and anything can happen, and it's very scary, but also very eerie in the sense that anything can happen, you don't know. And I just got really obsessed with this there was this flip side that I saw to life. There was like this different ecosystem that people, I would see people from all different types of walks of life, like taxi drivers, sex workers, nursing staff, of course, people that work at night. And there was just this different side to life that, often the night is perceived as quite nefarious and dangerous, but actually for me, it was like this flip side or a different side of the coin. And I kind of found that really interesting. And, I think you have a lot of time to think at night as well, because night shifts are very all or nothing. You'll be sitting there sometimes just staring at a monitor, waiting for someone's heart rate to drop. and then suddenly an ambulance will come in. So you do have a lot of time to think, and you think about your patients and you think about the kinds of people that sort of like live at night and what that means. And then I kind of like sort of started, I don't know how I came across this sort of thing, but I discovered this weird flower that it's called this Japanese snake gourd, and it only blooms at night. And I didn't even know that flowers did this. There was a flower that kind of like blossomed at night. And we often, when we think about flowers, it's like this beautiful day and, you know, everything's cheery. But like this flower comes alive at night. And I thought that was like a really interesting way to portray people that are alive at night. And it's not necessarily that it's dangerous or nefarious, but it's just, that's just where when they bloom, and that's okay.
Yeah, when I first got this in my inbox, I kind of went down a rabbit hole looking at pictures of those flowers, and and even as someone who has a garden and all that, like it didn't occur that there are flowers that sort of like bloom for the moon, not the sun, and that is.
Oh, isn't that cool? And there's so many of them. I was like looking the other day and I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have a whole garden just of like different species of night flowers? I mean, that would be so beautiful.
And it's just, and it felt like such a, I don't know. Yeah. It felt like this really wonderful sort of like it may be very on the nose, but this metaphor for, like you said, like a lot of people think of night as this sort of scary thing, but it's, I don't know. It's just different. It's not.
No, it is totally. Yeah.
So how this relates to your record? So all these songs were recorded after midnight. Yes. Is that?
Yeah, I think there was one song that I added drums after midnight, but like most of them were mixed or recorded after midnight. I think actually all of them. Yeah. And it was because I actually I was making it whilst I was in Spain, and I kind of have these bursts of creative energy. And there was like 6 weeks where I didn't really even see my husband. I would just almost be doing night shifts, but in the studio. And I would go to the studio every night and just start recording. And that's how that record happened. And so a lot of the songs were kind of inspired, but also just written at night. And yeah.
Do you feel like there's something like, I don't know, working on it late at night and over, kind of night shift idea? Is there something sort of that feels maybe like available to you, like creatively, or that you connect to, like with your creative process, that's only that is sort of specific to that?
I think it's very interesting working at night shift because, for example, if you ask me now if to go to an all-night rave, I would be like, no way. Like I'd get so tired. But when you work at night as a doctor or even like mixing music, there's like, you tap into this weird sort of adrenaline, and it's a funny sort of adrenaline because it's like you're too tired to do certain things. Like I can't read a book or I can't do something, but then there's like these bursts of energy and you tap into a different sort of part of you that is you don't access during the day. It's very hard to explain. And, I always think of that. Like if someone were to say, do you want to go to Burgoyne like overnight? I'm like, hell no, like I'm not going to last that long. But I've got no problem like being on night shift and having that sort of level of adrenaline. I mean, it's probably not good for your nervous system probably, but it's interesting.
Yeah. No, I hadn't even really thought about that because I can like sit and work on a record or work on a piece of music all night. But at this point in my life, going to like an all night show, by midnight, I'm dead.
I'm like by 10 o'clock, I'm like, time to go home.
I mean,
totally.
We played a show on Monday and we got home at like 11 and my wife and I were both just like, oh my God, I can barely stand.
But then when you're asked to probably do something, maybe that's like a different energy that you have to like access. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. you've got my brain. I'm like, okay, someone needs to study this. Maybe somebody has, actually. I don't know. Another thing that, like, there's this line in the record where you sing your face is colored differently in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that, like, it kind of feels like the thesis of the whole record in a way. Like, it really feels like this. I don't know. I connected, like, I keep going back to it. And you've kind of touched on this, but it's like, what does night reveal that daylight obscures?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, that lyric, it meant a few things to me, but it was just like the way, if you look at different people and different shadows or different perspectives. In fact, I'm kind of obsessed with this word parallax, which I have a label called Parallax. And the reason why I like that word is because the way you look at something can change on where you're positioned and looking at the object. And I quite like that when you say that you apply that to a shadow or to light, that someone's perspective or the way they look can change. And like maybe you perceive something at nighttime to be a certain way, and then in the daytime, I mean, a classic example would be you sleep with someone, you're like, oh my God, the next morning, no, no, what have I done? That's a really crass example. And I just thought of that now. Believe me, that's not what that means in the song. I'm a bit more poetic. But like things change, the light can change things for good or for bad, so.
That's really
so
great.
I know this is a serious podcast. I'm sorry to bring some crassness, but
Oh, it's not that serious. No, I hadn't even thought of that either. Now that you said that, and I'm looking at this lyric, I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of a really, it's a really tactful way to say.
I hope that song is not what that becomes now. Oh my God, like the bad one night stand. No, please
no. I feel like, I mean, I've been married for 20 years. That's not part of my life anymore. Friends I have I'll be like, here's a line you can use in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to. Okay, well, the last thing is, and I think you said this, like, it's basically the closest thing you've ever made to a pop record, which I think is awesome. And I hope it's maybe the closest thing you've made to a pop record so far. Haha. I'm curious, like, what does that like mean to you to make, like, thinking of this is like, I've made this part, like, what were you kind of chasing?
Do you know what? When I made this record, it's actually the most fun I've ever, like, I think experimental music does skew very serious, and it's very hard to make good experimental music. This record, I mean, it wasn't really that hard to make for me because, you're following kind of song structures. You've got like drums, you've got like a bass line, you've got vocals. And I kind of wanted to see if I could make a pop song. And I'd never used drums before, so that was like a learning curve. And I just kind of wanted to do something fun, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to do something that wasn't like, I don't know, like a lot of my other work is very like, we're talking about decolonial theory and migration and borders, and that content is very heavy and it's very political, and it can weigh heavily on you. And then sometimes I think with music, it's nice just to make something beautiful that you can enjoy. I do worry though, because I have had like a really nice response to this record, and my husband's like, they're going to be shocked when they hear your next album, and it's like this really like droney, like doom noise, like colonial, like deep, and I'm like, oh God, but you can only make art the way you make art. I'm not going to make art for. Yeah, I don't want to make art because I'm,
someone else's expectations.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'd love to like do another sort of, I am working with a friend doing some more dubby, poppy stuff now, but like, certainly I don't really want to be like, oh, this is done well, and my next album I'm not really careerist in that way. So, but I hope I don't disappoint too many people.
Yeah, well, who knows? Who even knows anymore in this whole thing? But I don't know. I think fun is because I've talked about this a lot. And I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and yes, experimental music sort of trends serious, and I get it. And I'm not, and I, a big part of my practice is working with ecological collapse and stuff. But there was
Heavy.
a point, like earlier this year, I like the specific project I'm working on, I'd been reading all of these environmental reports about a body of water near where I live and all the and it was just, it became so much that I was like, I need a project that is just like fun and joyful, and
Yeah, totally.
and that can be it's its own kind of challenge, like making something that's quote unquote experimental but also like joyous and fun and whimsical but not corny. I don't like.
Yeah, and I think also human is like a really nice way that I think of it. Like this is just something human, and it's about my human experience and hopefully other people's experience, and not necessarily what's happening in the Middle East. And because we have plenty of that to think about. Maybe we need something to like. I mean, it's really interesting. I was talking to a friend the other day about music in general, and I kind of said to her, like, sometimes I make music to make people forget, and I think this is what this record is about, kind of like to make people, you want to just forget and listen to some nice music and maybe just take you away to a different place. And then, but a lot of my other music is to make people remember colonialism, like remember like this. And so like, that's good, So I guess it's like two ways of approaching art. And I guess maybe I hope I'm not going off too much on a tangent, but I can't remember the question.
Oh, who cares? I feel that deep in my bones. So like we all contain multitudes. Okay. So
are you going to make a pop album? Is that your next?
I don't know. My wife, before we had a kid, we made a couple pop records, and it was a lot of fun, and it was so much work. Cause I don't know, writing songs, it's like, it's hard, but it's not hard. Like it's really, I don't know. I mean, you just did it. But just finding the time is the hardest thing right now.
That's
like
really
for both
hard.
of us.
Yeah, totally.
But we've been talking lately, like about how we want to bring that project back. And we kind of started I hesitate to call it a punk band. It's like I'm playing bass and singing and she's playing drums. And I don't really know what it is at this point, but the point is to have fun. So, sometimes
I mean, it's nice to have fun, man. Like it's, like, life doesn't have to be so dark. I mean, that being said, I did write a popish album about the night, so it's kind of dark, but like,
right. I mean, in the literal sense, it is.
Exactly. I mean, I mean, that's as dark as I'm going to get, I guess. As light as I'm going to get. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like,
right. Yeah, I'm not writing songs about. I don't know what anyway. Nobody cares what I'm writing songs about right now. I don't even know if I care. Well, I will say I was surprised when I first heard this and really loved the record. And I am someone who really likes your other work. So if people should check it all out, because I think there is definitely like a thread between all of it. And
thank you.
So but I have no good segue now, so we're just going to dive into
let's get into
song
it.
questions.
Yeah.
And as ever, I'm going to start with, what is the first song that you remember?
I mean, for me, what I remember the most is my mother singing. And I mean, she was a great singer, but obviously, I mean, my background was I was like born in Baghdad. We fled the war. And so we didn't really have access to Arabic music. So my mom would sing songs she remembered from the Middle East. And so she sang a lot of Fayrouz. She's like a famous Lebanese singer. She's, arguably one of the most famous Arab musicians. She's incredibly important. And there was one song that she used to sing called Hana Sekran, which is basically, it's like kind of a folky song, and it's about this guy called Han, which in Arabic is actually means John. And John al Sekran is like John the drunk. And it's just like this cute song about this drunk guy called John that just kind of hangs around, and he draws the girls. I mean, not in a creepy way, but like, he's just part of the community. And there's girls and boys playing. So it sets up this kind of like picture of what like a village or a neighborhood in Lebanon was like. And my mum used to sing that all the time. And I guess, awesome. That was my introduction to like hearing Arabic music, because there was no, we lived in England. There was no Arabic music on the radio. Right. And we didn't have tapes or CDs of Arabic. We just had nothing. In order to get that music, you would have to call your mate or your family member from Iraq and be, in the middle of a war and say, hey, can you send some music? Oh no, we're kind of busy right now, and so a lot of it was my mum singing, or she'd make up songs, or, but like an Arabic lilt. So that was, I guess that was my introduction to music. And, I mean, it's kind of, I was like listening to some of the other podcasts, and I was like, oh God, some of my answers are very just like not specific songs, I guess, but maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I remember anyway.
Yeah, there are no wrong answers here. So
okay, good.
I mean, these things go all over the place. This isn't that serious. This is all just, it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. So
great.
That's a really great memory though. Like, I love that. And this, I was listening just to like this song, and I was just kind of taken by her voice. Like,
I mean, she is the voice. I mean, she's her and Kulthum is like they're, the two most important Arab singers. And I was like, it was interesting because when you sent me these questions, it really said, I was like, went down like a rabbit hole and just reading a lot. It was actually really great, because I was like jogging all my memory about the history of some of these musicians and the history of some of their songs. And I was like, wow, music is so incredibly rich with history, and and you can just follow like the rabbit hole and find out this is connected to that, and this happened. And it was really, I loved just reading about her life again.
Yeah, I recorded an episode yesterday actually in person. Anyway, we did it in person, but we were talking a lot about how, like, the thing that makes so much of like it's the stories, right? The stories of how the music happened, or the people who made it, and how that feels like one of the things that, as everyone's like trying to get their like 30-second TikTok clip, it's like getting like those are the things that are getting squished, and it's really terrible. And because those are the things that matter and that bring people together and that really form.
No, that's really, that's such a good point. I think that's really important, that we've just like reduced like stories to a 30-second like sound bite, or listen to my song for like a few seconds, and then you forget that behind all these great records that we love, there was like a story about how the band came together, and a story about who met who. And there was also, like, I was saying this the other day, there was a mystery to musicians. You had to go out and you had to like hunt for the information. And then there was like these urban legends about, did you hear that this musician did this? And I think that gave the music a certain magic to it. But now there's no mystery. Like, if you want to listen to your favorite artist, it's like, you can see what they've had for breakfast. You can see,
everything.
Everything. And I feel that's sad that there's so little, there's still magic, but not the same way that I grew up with music.
Same.
And
and I just think of like friendships and relationships that I formed because, like, talking about those stories, like, oh my God, did you hear this?
Totally.
And I, and again, that's all these tech people in the social media, like they want us isolated. That's the whole point. But like, it just, there's so much. I could do a whole podcast about that, but I'm gonna try to not make this like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I that's such an like I hadn't even thought like that this was your mom. I love this idea of your mom singing when you were young. It was your introduction to sort of like Arabic music, and or not even introduction, but like your only sort of anchor
connection. Yeah, totally. For a long time, really. Yeah.
Because, I can't imagine relatives in the middle of the war are going to prioritize sending you some tapes.
Although I do remember a funny story where I had a cousin in Iraq and he sent my mom a random letter, in the middle of a war. We got this letter and he wanted my mom to send him magazines about Megadeth. And all his really heavy, I wish I could find that. I wish I could find that letter because it was so incredible. And my mom had no idea who these bands were, but no idea. But I just love that this random cousin in the middle of the war was just listening to heavy metal and
and was trying to find the story. I mean, it's
exactly.
Like a perfect sort of example of that. It's God, going in the middle of a war, but man, I got to know. I want to know about this.
I know, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, we need more. We need more stories. We need more lore.
Yeah.
But okay, well, what is the song that makes you cry?
I put this Mortal Coil sound to Siren. And it's really crazy because I was listening to this the other day. Actually, a person played this live the other day and I was crying. It was I don't know if you know this musician, Pavel Mikolov, but he goes by Butt Techno. I don't know. He's Do you know the story that recently he did a cover of this song with a friend and unfortunately she passed away. And her name is Yana Pavlova, and she passed away. And I saw him play this song live at a gig in Barcelona. It was in a dark room, and her voice was playing, and I was just bawling my eyes out. And it was a dark room, and you could just hear her voice singing, and it was just so beautiful. I mean, the song is who doesn't cry listening to that song? It's so beautiful. But it's also, funnily, I didn't realize that it was a cover. And one of your questions is what's a really good cover?
A cover song that's better than...
And I always thought that this was the original, the OG song. And then someone said, no, that was a Tim Buckley song. I was like, really?
Yeah.
How did I not know that? I feel like I'm going to get cancelled as a musician for not knowing that. But
I kind of feel like it's one of those songs, though, where this version... Because I know it's a cover, but I don't know. This is their song now.
Totally. It's overtaken.
This song, I don't know. This song, it's just one of the most beautiful things.
No, it's so good. It's so good. Her voice is just perfect.
Yeah, God, and I love the way that she stretches and bends words. It's almost language becomes just these emotions for the way that she does. And then it becomes language. I don't know. There's nobody there's so many people who try to imitate what she does, but nobody can do what Elizabeth one of a kind.
No words. She's, I love her. But it's a great song.
Well, what's the song that puts you in a better mood?
What did I put for that? Was that a song? I think that was the question, the hype song or I did put, this one. So I put this song. This is when I first heard this song was actually when I first went to the Middle East because it was the first time I kind of had access. It was Arabic music was on television and on the radio. And I went to the Middle East when I was in my early teens. My dad had moved to the Gulf and I used to go there every summer. And I turned on the TV and then there was these three guys on stage playing this song, and the crowd was going absolutely fucking wild. And I remember listening to this song and I was like, hell yeah, this song is fucking sick. And every time I hear that song, it's such a hype song. So it's like this song called Abdel, and it's by these three French Algerian singers. So Khaled, Taha, and Faudel. And they sing this song about this Sufi mystic called Abdel. So he's kind of like this mystical figure. I think he died in Baghdad, and it's just like this kind of witchy kind of, Sufism is kind of like the more spiritual form of like Islam. And they all sing like a different verse, and each one has a different voice. Like, Faudel was like the kind of like the Backstreet Boy guy. And then you had like Rashid, who was like, had this gravelly voice, and Sheb Khaled, who was like, one of the biggest Rai singers. And the song, and I think what is great about this song, not necessarily about the song, is that if you watch the video, the live version, I've never seen a crowd so amped before. They're just so excited about this song. And you're like, I want to be in that crowd. Like that is like, what I love about that song so much.
Even just watching the video, like, and I really appreciate it on some of these, like this one, you link to the specific version. I was just getting hyped, and I was just, I was prepping for this and just had this blasting on the stereo, and like nobody was home. And that crowd is just electric.
No, totally.
And it feels like and everybody's, speaking of like fun and joy, like that is, I can't think of a show I've been to maybe ever that felt like that looked.
I feel like we're betraying our age, but like I feel like now shows are just like, it's just three guys and an orchestra. There's no light show. There's no like,
it's the middle of the day.
It's the middle of the day, and there's just like a massive crowd, and they're just singing.
Yeah.
And like now you see shows, and it's like, fucking Katy Perry swinging around like on a stage, running around, and a million people, and then you've got this massive screen with a zoom in of someone's face, and I think we've reached peak attention, like, and we've just kind of lost. Like, I just want to listen to a good song in a communal way where everyone's amped about this song together. Man,
that's perfectly put. That is so true. Like, oh God, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old. To be fair, I haven't been to it like a Katy Perry or like a big pop like concert. Maybe it's an experience. I don't know, but I just feel like now it's just like you go to a concert and it's like you almost are assaulted with like sensory input, like your ears, your face, your
everything.
Like everything is like you must come home from something like that completely just your nervous system is a wreck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the way that we should be consuming live music. Like I think there should be something communal and visceral and about it. But I don't know, maybe I'm just old.
I don't know. Well, maybe, but I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think it's all like all of those things are related in a way. And and I don't know, but maybe I'm just like old man yelling at the cloud. Like, no, it used to be, but whatever. That's how I feel.
It used to be so good.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day.
Okay, well, everyone's favorite question. What is objectively the best song of all time?
Oh my God, this was so hard. Honestly, I felt like you gave me homework because
I did.
I know, but I totally I honestly I don't know if this is objectively the best song of all time. I feel like it's really hard to say because you have to pick a song. Like I'm an Arab, so I'm having there's different, there's an Arabic, is it like this, but I did pick Adagio for strings. And I think because it's just so sad and moving and human and I don't know, like, as you said, like in a little caveat, like if the aliens came.
Right.
I mean, I think if you played that to aliens, they would probably be like, "Oh, humans aren't so bad. Maybe we shouldn't we shouldn't destroy them." You know, they seem like they might be nice
they seem
people.
Really sad.
They seem sad and melancholy, and maybe, you know, we should give them a chance. And so maybe. But funnily enough, when that song always reminds me. Speaking of covers, it all comes back to something, doesn't it? The first time I heard that song was. I don't know. Do you know that DJ Tiesto, like that trance DJ? He did a cover of it, and that was the first time
Really?
And they played it at the Athens, I think it was some opening ceremony, and I thought this song was fucking sick. I was like, this is the best song. This trance music is great. And then little did I know, like he just like ripped off like one of the most beautiful songs.
Right.
I thought Tiesto had written this amazing song. I was like, why is this guy not bigger?
Right. Wow.
And it's actually called Adagio for strings as well. So
okay, I gotta look that up because I'm trying to imagine like a trance version of this, and that sounds kind of amazing. That sounds amazing.
It's a treat. It's a trick. Maybe I should have put that as the best cover. Like
cover song that's better than the original. Yeah.
Tiesto, Adagio for strings.
God, that'd be incredible. So like obviously there is no answer to this question, which is why I put it on there. I mean, there's no right answer to any of these questions, but this is like, I mean, this is one of the right answers because it's I don't know. It's like watching something like super like beautiful just destroy itself through its own intensity or something. It is just like it's just like pure just sitting in grief and the enormity of it and just it's incredible. I can't listen to it very often, but it's incredible.
No, I mean, I don't know what it says about me that I've picked like a funeral song. But yeah, I don't know. I was reading about it because I was curious, and apparently it was played at Albert Einstein's funeral and John F. Kennedy as well, and the Princess of Monaco. So like it must be one of the top 10 funeral songs out there too. Like
that's a list I want to see. The top 10.
That's my next playlist. I'm gonna do right.
And I'd probably look and be like, oh, geez, this is like half of my favorite songs. Shit, what does that say about me?
This Mortal Coil. Like, you know, that's,
But you know what? I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to have Tiesto's Adagio for strings at my funeral. So
can you imagine with the lasers as well? Like, you know,
hey, that sounds like a pretty great funeral to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what is a song that you used to love, but you've heard it recently, or if you think about it now, it doesn't really do it for you?
Oh God, this one's like, you know, like opening your like closet and just picking out your dirty laundry, isn't it? Because like I was like, oh God, I don't like, you know, I'm trying to be a musician here. I don't want to give away too much of like, you know, like embarrass myself. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. And then I everyone went through an emo phase. Well, at least I did, you know. And then there was like this, I don't know if you know that AFI song, like Miss Murder. And
I didn't remember, like when I saw it, I was like, that's familiar. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this. Like,
I was obsessed with that song, like, hey, Miss Murdoch. And it was like, I was like, you know, Davey Havok like singing. And then I looked at the video like a week ago and I was like horrified that I was the same person that thought that this was interesting music. Right. Or, I mean, I guess melodically it's still interesting, but the way they're dressed and like the visuals, I was like, this is like really embarrassing to confess, but I really did enjoy this song. But yeah,
we've all got it. We've all got something in our, I can't make fun of anybody. Like, but yeah, it is really catchy. I will give it that. Like when I was listening to it, prepping, I had it in my head like the rest of the day. So thanks for that. But
maybe I'll do a cover of it. I don't know, like a trance cover.
And then somebody else can someday. Yeah, maybe yes. Has Tiesto heard this? Maybe he should.
Oh my God, that's like a collab that needs to happen.
Yeah, somebody get Tiesto on the phone. That'd be amazing. Okay, well, what is a song that people hate? I don't know who hates it. Some group of people, I don't know. Maybe I have a song that I love that my daughter hates, so I can't ever listen to it when she's home. What's a song people hate? You don't care. You love it anyway.
Oh, I kind of was cheeky on this response because I didn't really give like a song, but I think, I mean, especially in the climate today, I think people, like certain people, I would say, really hate the call to prayer. Yeah. And I'm talking about the Muslim call to prayer, and that's like the imam comes up into the minaret, and 5 times a day he asks Muslims to come and pray. And I think most people are really, not most, that's a very big generalization, but I think there's a certain part of the population that sees that as very confronting and, very foreign. But you know what? I think if you go, I mean, I've been in Istanbul when you've heard multiple call to prayers happening at the same time. And I would challenge anyone, from any background and without any prejudice to go and just listen to that. And it's just an incredible sound because you have all these different people essentially singing in different ways. And it forms this kind of the city becomes a drone. It becomes a song.
Wow. Yeah.
And it becomes this, listening to this drone, you're in a song, you're actually inside a song. And I think it's very beautiful. And some of these imams, when you hear them sing, they have such incredible voices. I would love to have a command of that kind of, voice. And yes, it's Muslim, and a lot of people don't, right now, probably a bit, especially in the UK and some places, would find that quite confronting. But I think, I linked to one video that I think kind of demonstrates that. Of course, you have to be right inside it and have the kind of the 3D experience of it coming at different volumes, at different angles all around you to really feel immersed in that. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things, I think, about, my culture, that kind of, that melodic part, I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I really want to go to Istanbul now just for that reason. There's a million other reasons, of course, to go there, but God, that sounds amazing.
Just on a rooftop and at sunset, because at sunset is when you have to, so it's 5 times a day, and it's morning, midday, sort of mid-afternoon, and then sunset is one of the times. So can you imagine just the sun's going down, you can see all these beautiful architecture, and you just hear this swarm of sound. It's beautiful. And it's a free concert as well, you can just, it's for everyone.
Gosh, I seriously wanted. Okay, that's on the list now. Why are you going to Istanbul? I want to just go sit on the rooftop at sunset and listen to the call to prayer.
Have a kebab, it's all good.
Wow. Okay. Do you think of yourself as a romantic?
I don't know. I would have to ask all my husband and my ex-boyfriends. I don't know. I don't know if I see myself as a romantic. Okay. I don't know. Tough question.
Yeah, I know. It is a tough question. Depends on when you ask me. What is the most romantic song?
Oh, I mean, I love this song. The Book of Love, Magnetic Fields. I mean, my God, those, I think some of your questions are a little bit overlap when you talk about I think one of them was best lyrics, but I love it when you read to me. You could read me anything. Oh my God, how beautiful is that? The idea that someone would read you something, is just, I mean, what a beautiful gesture. And it's such a simple song, and you know, he was a king of, you know, he is a king of melody and
Right.
like just writing beautiful words. And I mean, I love that song so much. I think it's so incredible.
I do too. I think I love how, like, I mean, that the lyric you just mentioned is such a good example, but like, there's something like it's so direct, but it's like it's so sincere and so and everything he says, it's just like, oh yeah, like it. I don't know.
I know, and he just has a way of singing that's, like you said, it's really honest. There's not a lot of effects to it. He's just got such a beautiful, like, commanding, creamy, inviting voice. And yeah, when he sings that, you're just, I mean, it's also a song that kind of makes me cry sometimes, because you're just like, what gorgeous lyrics, and what a really lovely way to like express your love for someone. Yeah. And I love this idea that there's this book of love, like there's actually a book that you can read, and that it has music in it. I mean, that's one of like the lyrics that, you know, and that's where music comes from. I mean, come on, the song is so romantic and beautiful.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. Okay, what is a song that changed your perspective on an artist, either for better or for worse?
This is a really interesting question, because it really, you know, I think sometimes, like, you know, when you think of artists and you think of their work, you know, sometimes you have to separate the art from the artist and things like that. And I didn't really want it to go down that rabbit hole, because I think you could think of many examples where you're like, oh, I love that song, but I hate that person. And I didn't want to get too political about, you know, this, that, or the other. But then I remembered this Earth Eater song, and I, you know, when I heard the original song, I think it's like Under Your Clavicle. I think that's the name of the title of the song.
Below the Clavicle.
Below the Clavicle.
Below the Clavicle, I think, yeah.
The actual, like, I mean, the actual song that she released is very produced. It's very electronic, and, you know, she does sing on it. And I didn't really like it. I actually didn't like it at all. I was like, okay, this is not my vibe. I can see why people like this, but it's really not my jam.
Right.
But I stumbled across this video of her where she's just singing that song with an acoustic guitar and her singing. That's it. It was completely like unplugged, stripped down. And when I heard that song, without the production, without everything, I was like, this song is incredible. Yeah. And her voice is actually beautiful, and her melodies, like, you know, she has a very unconventional melodic structure when she sings. It's not like a typical sort of, you know, I don't know, it's just not a typical song in that way. And I got really obsessed with that acoustic version that I was doing singing lessons for a while. I took this to my vocal coach, and I was like, I want to know how she does certain things and how she uses her voice in this acoustic piece. And my vocal coach is very traditional. She's like a, you know, studies opera. She got obsessed with it, and she listened to the whole like unplugged session. And then she kept insisting that we learn other Earth Eater songs, because she was like, and I was like, okay, let's just do the whole thing. But yeah, she was like, you know, this is actually really beautifully sung. And it really made me appreciate her as, like, I think there's a lot of artists out there that's like a lot of hype, a lot of like drama, a lot of excitement around them. And then underneath it all, you forget, buried underneath that, there's an incredible musician that's where it stemmed from. And I think she's actually a really good musician in that sense, and unique for that.
It's funny, like, I had a very similar experience with this, because I have friends who like, and I like you, I can see why people love what she does, but it just never clicked for me. And I saw the same session, I don't know, a couple years ago or whenever it was. And at first there was such a disconnect. I didn't realize it was the same art. Like, I mean, I recognized her, but it just kind of stopped me in my tracks, because it was like, oh yeah, okay, I get.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she can play guitar. Like, okay, so she's like, you know, she's just not on Ableton, like, you know.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, in her, I don't know, the melodies that she writes, the way that she writes is it's very different. And I think it really, like, this performance really kind of highlighted or heightened that for me and made me realize just, okay. Now I'm just like, I wish she would just do an acoustic version of all her records.
Yeah. No, I mean, I took her seriously after that. I was like, okay, she's a serious musician. And there you go, Athena.
That's it's a great answer. Okay, so other than obviously Magnetic Fields, Book of Love, great lyrics. So that's not the answer to this question, but what are your favorite lyrics?
My favorite lyrics of all time is PJ Harvey on her album White Chalk. She sings a song called The Piano. And there's one lyric she sings that I think is so beautiful and sad. And it's like she sings, my fingers sting where I feel your fingers have been, your ghostly fingers. I think it's bruising my skin or leaving my skin or something like that. And this idea that, I mean, you know, what, like this loss of someone that you can still feel them touching you. And then she goes on to howl, oh God, I miss you. Oh God, I miss you. And you could just feel the pain in that, you know, like this complete grief. And I mean, I love that song so much.
That's a great song. And I love the version. I think you sent me, isn't it a version that was just her and an acoustic guitar?
Yeah, no, but PJ Harvey is like amazing, but this one I really love because she is playing the guitar and then she's got like a Moog synthesizer that she's playing with her foot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I need to up my game here for my performances because, like, you know, this is, you know, it's incredible that she's just playing, you know, and then singing these words. And I think that live version, the way she sings it, I prefer it to the album version. I think maybe because you can see it maybe and you can see the pain when she sings it maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
It's such a good line though. PJ Harvey.
Yeah. I mean,
what else is there to say? On to other things here. What is the last song that you completely fell in love with?
Have you heard that Rosebud by Clarissa Connelly song? Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I can't remember when I first heard it. I think someone was like, Aphex Twin posted something and I don't know. Anyway, I heard it and, you know, the first part of the song, I was like, oh, you know, I'm not really into it. And then as the song kept going and she just changes the way she sings and then this guitar strum comes in and the melody is amazing. I was like hooked. Wow. And I have it on repeat and it's my shower song. I wish I really want to be able to sing the way she sings because she's great. Yeah, she's really great.
No, I love it. If I first heard, actually, it was an episode last year. Somebody picked a different song from that record as something I don't remember, and I hadn't heard it, and I've been kind of obsessed with it ever since.
No, it's so
the whole
good.
record is great, but this song, it feels like ancient to me or something. Like there's something about.
Well, because she's half Scottish, right? So I think like she was like drawing upon, I mean, Rosebud, like I guess she's drawing upon these Celtic roots, I guess. And maybe you could hear this song in a pub or something, like in a Scottish pub.
I don't know, but it kind of going like what you were saying about Earth, like her melodies are there's something unusual about
like you expect the note to go that way, but it actually goes a different way. And you know, so you're kind of caught off guard by where the melody takes you. I think that's what I love about that song. And it's very simple. The harmonies are good and it's simple. It really isn't like a lot to it. It's just her voice really that's carrying the song.
Yeah. And if you can sing like that, you don't need much else.
I mean, come on. Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, what cover is better than the original? I mean, we've talked about one, but what's another one? Actually, we've talked about many. Tiesto's version of Adagio.
Tiesto, yeah. I mean, I like growing up, I was obsessed with Mariah Carey. I mean, I love her. I think she's like an incredible singer. Everyone talks about her octave range, but she actually did like this, a couple of covers. One was a Prince cover, beautiful ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, maybe it's sacrilegious to be like, covers of Prince, but this one is really great. It's a really long song.
Really good.
And it's almost like this call and answer that she does with, the other vocalist. And I think it really showcases her voice. And
Yes.
I mean, it's so good. Like it's such an R&B classic for me. It's fantastic. And then she also did, I mean, this one's more obvious, but the other cover she did was like, like Without You, that Can't Leave, that one. I mean, that's
again,
a classic.
And like the original, that one, it's very good. But again, this is Mariah's song now.
No, exactly. I mean, she's such a diva.
I love Mariah Carey.
I know. We're allowed to say that now. Like,
it became okay, I guess. But
yeah,
I don't know. She's so, I don't know. She's just so her. I don't know. There's just something she has such an aura about her.
Yeah, I know. She's very singular. Goals. That's what my I'm going for that.
Right. Mariah, Madonna, Dania. There we go.
Yeah. That's why I have one name, I'm like, I'm manifesting. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Last two questions. So what is the song that means the most to you? It's not necessarily the song itself, but because you associate it with something or someone, certain memory, etc.
I guess circling back, Elizabeth Fraser, and then there was this song that was on. What was that? Like, the Cruel Intentions soundtrack. I mean, I swear this is all going to make sense in a second.
Sure.
So the Cruel Intentions soundtrack, I mean, when I was growing up, it was like, that was the soundtrack that everyone was listening to.
Yep.
And and there was a song on it, I think Craig Armstrong featuring Elizabeth Taylor called This Love. And, it's not like I'm a huge fan of that song. Like, I love other songs that Elizabeth Fraser's done, obviously. But this one was really important to me because it reminds me of a specific time and also reminds me of a specific person. And I had this best friend who unfortunately passed away. But we had this ritual that every Saturday I would go to her house and we'd put that CD on and we'd listen to it, like, from the top to the bottom. And so every time I hear that song, I'm just reminded about that sort of ritual of like going to her house, listening to music, talking about what happened that week. So I guess it's that song. And if I had to pick, it would be that whole soundtrack probably, but this particular song. Yeah. And, obviously like remembering her and like honoring her because she was like a wonderful human as well. So, yeah. So sorry, that's a sad answer, but.
No, I have a song album like that with a friend. It's very similar. It was like this weekly Saturday ritual. We would hang out and listen to the record and sing along to a bunch of the songs and talk about, back to the, talking about like, oh my God, I heard that. So they did this or that.
Totally.
And that friend passed away a number of years ago. And so every time it's the same thing. It's like every time I put on that record, I'm like, oh yeah.
No, it's like a fossilized memory, it's a core memory.
Yeah. It's like super formative thing. Okay. Last question. What, at least in this moment of time, maybe the answer to this changes, but what is your favorite song?
Oh, Dolly Parton, Jolene. And I think a lot of people have answered that before because I was listening to some of the podcasts and I was like, yeah, that is my favorite song, I think. Like, one that I could, I don't get sick of that song. Like, I can listen to it and I'm like, this is really good. And I could put it on repeat. And yeah, I mean,
it's an amazing song. Like,
no, and it's crazy. It's like a country song, and I really don't. I mean, I don't usually listen to country, but it's like this one song that's, I think a lot of people would answer that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and for good reason.
Also a diva.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I don't know if I remember it was when I was, and I think this is like common lore now, but the fact that she wrote this song and I Will Always Love You both in the same day is. No,
I know. Madness.
How?
Yeah. Give me some of that, please. A bit of that talent. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Right. Just a little drop and I will be good.
Yeah.
But that's why she's Dolly. There, another one. She could be a one-name artist too.
Yeah, she could.
Well, awesome. Well, this was way too much fun. And now I can't wait to listen to Tiesto. My big takeaway from this whole episode is Tiesto.
I mean, I know you do a playlist, but I think maybe we should include that song.
I'm going to stick it at the end.
You have to, because why not?
Yeah. Well, this is seriously so much fun. So the record's out now. This episode will be out in a few weeks. Is there anything? Do you have any shows or anything else coming up that you want to mention or plug?
I have a lot of like nerdy sort of sound art shows that have nothing to do with Listless. I mean, I did a sound art show last week, and someone said, "Are you selling merch?" I'm like, "It's not that kind of show." Like, there's going to be a bunch of black people in black wearing gallery gear. Like, I'm not having a merch table. So, oh
my god, I did a thing, this was a couple of years ago, like the big museum in town, and I wanted to bring a merch table so bad, but they were just like, no, you're not.
Like, what's the merch table? Like, totally.
They're like, what do you mean the gift shop?
Yeah. Do you have a book or something? That's it. Exactly. But thanks so much. This has been like a hoot, actually. It's been so fun and funny and actually great, like going down memory lane and just like kind of revisiting all the stuff that like kind of has shaped the way I make music. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Once again, thank you to Dania for taking the time. Took us a lot of tries to figure out when to record this, but we got it done and it was a blast. And it's funny, like we just had daylight savings over the weekend. So yesterday was the first day that it got dark earlier. And I ended up like listening to this record like twice last night because it was just like, oh man, it's this time of year for this record. But anyway, I don't know. I love this record. Anyway, her picks are in the listen to her picks in the show notes, of course. And please, if you like the show, subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. Help get it in front of more people because people should hear this stuff and, discover lots of cool music. And if you really like it a little extra bit, patreon.com/Foxy Digitalis, $3 a month. You get these episodes early, get them ad free. You get a little bit extra on each episode. And till next time, though, keep on listening to whatever the hell you want.